Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is February 28th, and this is your aftermarket update. So we had a good day here at the Oil Trading Group. It was a day where our market maker levels really led the way for us here, and I'm going to talk about those market maker levels here in just a few moments. But it was a difficult day. The last couple of days, in fact, really since December, we've been in about a $5.50 range for the last 90 days. And it has made for some difficult trading conditions. Today was a little bit better. We had 105 ticks low to high today. That was a little bit better than the 10-day average of 94, but still very narrow for what we're accustomed to seeing, at least before December in terms of movement on the CL. So we do have a presidential speech this evening. This is very similar to the State of the Union address. They're not calling it that, but it is an address by newly elected President Trump before a joint session of Congress where he's going to lay out his agenda for the coming year. So the market was a bit sluggish as a result of that. In fact, it took quite a bit of time for the market to loosen up here today. If you take a look here at our market maker levels, we spent a lot of time really in a very narrow range. In fact, we'll just measure this out here for a second. So if you take this this bottom down here and you measure it up to this top, there was 25 ticks from the open all the way. Really, we didn't break that low finally. As you kind of rotate through here, you didn't actually break that low until almost 10 a.m. this morning, 9:45. So for the better part of 2 hours, we just rotated around in this 25 tick range, and it did make for some difficult trading conditions today. Now, one of the things that we did do is we got long here at this 46.47. That was our first trade here today. We were looking to carry, and then we quad bottomed here at 40, but we were getting long here off this 46, and the market rallies up to 65. We were looking to carry it on up into this daily structure mid market maker level target up there at 53.88. That didn't happen, and that was my first trade of the day. I got taken out at ended up getting taken out at 51 before the market kind of rolled over and came back down. And so we rotated around until we got to our revision signals here today, and you can see that we had a quad bottom down here at the low at 40. So when we had this revision signal form up, this was kind of our key here, and this is where we're going to get short. We're actually get short down here at 40 today. Market rotates around. You have those revision signals. It just kind of rotates around here until you get this long spike break through the revision signal. And so once we cleared out this quad bottom down here, the book the order flow and liquidity was really showing that there was heavy liquidity down underneath us. But because the way that these market maker levels work, we did not ever really rally that high above the daily structure signal. And you expect it to go to the daily structure mid. When that doesn't happen, then you're looking for this market to come down here at least into the daily structure signal underneath you. So if I turn these off, you can see that that daily structure target here rather is 53.33. So we were expecting the market to move down into that zone. We rotate here for quite a while around that area, and then eventually we take off down through it. Now, we had a couple of levels underneath us here. I'm going to turn on these secondary levels. One of the things that we talked about in great detail was this 200% range extension doing what we thought would hold the price action in check. Usually the market does not go much deeper than this 200% range extension from yesterday's trading range, and you're going to see here in a few minutes that that is ultimately the case. Now, we did have market structure extension 2 at 19, and that was another area on your chart that we talk about the market not going much deeper than. Our target when we get short off of that revision signal, and we'll come back to that in a second, but we got short off the revision signal, and our target was between the daily S3 and this extension 2 down around 15. And that is kind of the halfway point between those two. And our low today ends up being down there at 18. So if I were to come back over here and turn these secondary levels off, I'm going to turn these market maker levels on. I'm going to put the revisions on here, and we'll turn the structure off. So once we got through this revision signal, that was our area that we were looking for this revision signal to hold. Ultimately, it does. And then we were targeting down into this market structure extension 2 just a little bit deeper. Market comes down and pegs right there at the market structure extension 2. So you're going to see me in this trade here. I'm trail stopped back here. I'm in at 40. I trail stop back here to 23, and that's where I get picked off on this move back down. So I left a few ticks on the table, but not too many, as that was really the last trade that we took on the day. Now, it's interesting to note that the market does kind of rotate around and really comes back down and tests that low again, and then rallies pretty aggressively into the close. All right, so today at 13:30, we did have the the American Petroleum Institute report came out, and that's what these two bars are here. So the OTG trade of the day goes from 40 down to 18, which is 22 ticks. Our initial stop was 12 ticks. There just hasn't been that real far-reaching kind of move, 30, 40 ticks that we like to see. We really haven't had one of those in about, we're going to come up on a week here pretty soon of not having those types of moves. But you don't really need those types of moves to be successful. We've had some really good trading days. Recently, in fact, we broke an 8-day losing streak, or 8-day winning streak, I should say, yesterday with a losing day. But today's trading results actually outpaced yesterday's losses, and that's what you want to have, right? Cut your losers short, let your winners run, and that's what we've been doing here really successfully since the beginning of 2017. So the trade of the day was about 43 minutes. I've cut it down so you can see the very beginning. I've sped it up in the middle and speed it up at the end so you can see where we ultimately get our target. So again, as we always do here, cut it down, speed it up, play a little music behind it, and try to fit this in a reasonable time frame so you can see kind of what happened on the trade. So without further ado, here is that OTG trade of the day. Short at 40. I'm looking. There's hit but no fill. In short at 40 here. I'm in short at 40. My stop right now is 12 ticks to 52. All right, so you can see that we had a pretty good trade there today. It wasn't quite all the way to the target, but it got really close. Tomorrow will be crude oil inventory report Wednesday. We should have some activity based on that report coming out here on the CL tomorrow. And so we will get back to it, and hopefully we can loosen this market up just a little bit and get some of those bigger runs that we're accustomed to seeing. So as always, I want to say thank you for spending time watching the videos here at the Oil Trading Group. And until next time, I want to wish you good luck and good trading.